as I was thinking of this training today, I started to kind of take inventory of where we're at as clinicians. And most offices are operating on a transactional level, okay? Let me explain. Transactional level is mainly a level where you're like, okay, here's the price, here's our service, either we do it or we don't. It's transactional. And we know when you're transactional as opposed to relational, what happens? You're competing for pricing. You're competing for the best price or the best package or the best bundle. Even bundles and packages, which are great, you're still competing for that when you're thinking transactionally. Everyone here should be thinking and moving from going from transactional to relational. There's a big difference. As soon as you move from transactional thinking to relational thinking, everything shifts. And the strategy I'm going to share with you today, the first date blast, is going to show you how to do that. All right. And I'm going to give you some insights in how I use it as well, and in reaching out to my audience as well. And I want you to do that within your office, right? You have a patient base. You have to ask yourself, when was the last time I reached out to them in a relational manner, as opposed to transactional, right? If you're always transactional, it's going to be hard for you to close cases and get people back in. You have to be thinking relationships. You have to be thinking connection. You have to be thinking, how do I build on this? And you have to be thinking long game, right? The winners in any industry are doing it for a long time, long game. We've been doing these sessions for years now, right? And it's not just this one-off. It's how can I think from the long game? So I want you to take this strategy in and ask yourself, can I implement this following week? Maybe you can. And it's going to be really easy to do. And I'm going to show you how to do it. And it's simple. So the first date blast is all about one thing. Asking yourself, do your patients know who you are, why you do what you do, and how you can help them? Who you are, why you do what you do, and how you can help them. It's as simple as that. Do they know that? You may think, oh, Ranesh, my patients see me every 6 months or every 3 months, and they totally know who I am. Like, we chat, we talk about their, the cruise that they took 3 years ago, or the vacation, the staycation that they're going on, in a few weeks, or their challenges that they have with their kids' school. We talk about all those things. But let me ask you this. Do they know who you are and why you do what you do? Your story, do they know that part? And have you expressed that to them in a manner in which envelopes, imbues or takes in the business of what you do, right? Have you wrapped your business around who you are and why you do what you do? So the first date blast is essentially sending out one email this coming week on Monday or Tuesday, sending out one email to your entire patient database and just doing a simple, casual, and conversational communication with them. Notice I didn't say it's an introduction, right? Because that's too formal. And many of your patients have been seeing you for years. And they'll be like, what? Like, why are you sending this to me, Dr. Ganatra? I've been seeing you for years. But if you send it out in a way that it's like, hey, this is like you getting to know them and them getting to know you, it changes the game. I'll give you an example. I had a doctor that emailed me this week, and she was so happy with the mastermind, being here for our sessions and all of that stuff. And she said, hey, look, this is what I've done in the past. This is kind of where I'm at with my office and my team. And by the way, Ranesh, did you know that you and I both went to University of Maryland? So we went to the same dental school. Like, I got to know her because she did that. And I now look at her as someone that's closer within the network because I'm like, wow, I get to know who she is, why she's doing what she's doing, and some of her struggles as well. So what I'm going to encourage you to do when you have that opportunity, hopefully this week, is send an email out to your patients. And it could be a simple email that says, Hey, John, I just want to reach out to you. These are some challenging times, but I just want to show you kind of what we get to do in our office, and maybe that can help you some way down the line. We really appreciate you coming into our practice, and we love seeing everyone that comes into our practice. They're part of our extended family. And here's why I love what I get to do here in our office, and here's why I love to treat you and help you and serve you. One of the reasons is I love creating smiles and happiness in difficult times. We're in challenging times right now. Let me give you an example. Here's a case that we did just a few years ago. This patient came in with, X, Y, and Z challenges. And here's what we were able to do to help her out. And I love that part. I love being able to serve and help out and create smiles in challenging times. Now, here's another thing you may not know. When I was growing up, we didn't have enough money to even, go see the doctor all the time, or even get a new pair of shoes when we really needed to, whatever that was. But what we had was a creative family. And so you're giving some background on your family, your upbringing, and here's what we're able to do. And then you're wrapping that into why you do what you do today, right? You see, what happens is when you send this first date blast or email or communication out to your patients get to know you on a whole different level than just doctor-patient relationship. That doctor-patient relationship, that's one part of it, right? But the more layers of personality you can add, the first date, the more layers of personality you can add to that communication, guess what happens? Even if they don't come in, you've branded yourself and they know more of who you are. Now, let me ask you this. Who wants to go to someone that they don't know who they are, they're a total stranger, versus someone that I kind of know who she is, or I know who he is. I kind of know them. Who'd rather go to someone they're familiar with? Who'd rather go to someone they're familiar with versus someone that they don't even know? So my question to you is, have you done this with your patients? Have you sent out a simple email? Just a few paragraphs, who you are, why you do what you do, and how you can help. How you can help. Not promoting anything, not saying, hey, this is our offer that we have on Invisalign or veneers coming up, but just those three things: who you are, why you do what you do, and how you can help them. And when your patients see that from you, they add layers of personality onto who you are. And now they're more connected to you, even though they haven't come in yet, or they're going to come in soon, or maybe it's a new patient you saw once. You are now branding your ethos. You're branding that. The more you do that, you will see the easier it is for patients to say yes and to just take a cue from your playbook whenever they need treatment. That's what it is. Now, I can extend this and say, hey, that's another reason why you should be creating the content, putting the stuff out there, because people see different parts of you and different personalities and different aspects of you. And they're like, oh, wow, I'd love to come see them. You see, this is not the conversation most people want to have or hear when they're not getting the patients in, because they're like, how do I do this overnight? And the low-hanging fruit is doing this with the patients you currently have. And I promise you, they will love you for this, because they will see a side of you that they didn't see before.